I'd like to invite Mr. Samer Chidiac, Mr. Mark Henry, and Mr. Arzu to join the floor, open the cam. Mr. Samer is the Regional Director and Chief Innovation Officer of the Middle East and African region in the Dubai office of Microsoft, of course. Mark Henry is the AI Technical Lead at Microsoft, and Arzu is the Data and AI Technical Lead at Microsoft. So I'll leave the floor for you, and you can take it from there.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you, Larissa. Thank you, everyone. I will be beginning in just a second. Arzu couldn't make it to the call with us, but we have Mark also. As you can see from the screen right now, there is a live transcription happening on PowerPoint. And that's a very small innovation that is right now available out of the box, part of PowerPoint accessibility feature. It's very interesting how very small addition to a product that we'd use every day can make a huge impact. You see, just this particular captioning, it is actually using so many technologies behind it, from voice to cognitive services to the cloud, and even I can switch to the different languages and I can have me speaking in Arabic and it will be translating in English, or me speaking in English and it's translating in French or whatever. So before I actually introduce the introduction for us for today, I'd like to leave you with a short video to show the accessibility commitment from Microsoft.
Technology can make things easier, but it can also make things possible. More than 1 billion people have a disability around the world. And while some disabilities are visibly apparent, others are not. Today, many report experiencing mental health conditions for the first time. The truth is, most of us will experience disability at some point in our lives, temporarily or permanently. Still, people with disabilities face higher unemployment rates, more than twice that of people without. And only 1 in 10 have access to the assistive devices they need to be active in their communities. The COVID-19 pandemic has only exacerbated this disability divide, with many experiencing symptoms that are lasting for weeks or months after diagnosis. Here at Microsoft, we've been on a journey to design technology with and by people with disabilities. We're learning every day, and people with disabilities are leading the way. Office features now make it easier for millions to create and send accessible, inclusive communications. More opportunities for improving digital skills and learning are available than ever before, and people with disabilities are preparing for an increasingly digital job market. As the world changes, our approach to accessibility is changing too. That's why we're upping our ambition over the next 5 years. Not only do we want to scale accessible and affordable technology, we're investing in skilling opportunities and talent development and doubling down on our promise to build and model inclusive workplaces. But we can't close the disability divide alone. As communities around the world prepare for post-pandemic life, we want others to join this global cause to make society more inclusive. Disability is a strength, and society is stronger when it's accessible to everyone. And while technology can make things possible, people make things amazing. To learn more, visit aka.ms/accessibility-commitment.
All right, so innovators, accessibility innovators, you are making our world more inclusive. And it's activities like these, hackathons like these, that fosters those innovations coming from people like you, and they collaborate with others, that makes our world better. My name is Samer Chidiac. I am the Regional Director and Chief Innovation Officer of the Microsoft Technology and Innovation Centers across Middle East and Africa. If I want to start, it's like looking at the world that we are living in today. We live in a connected society. Technology is everywhere. We are all connected with so many devices, so many things. Actually, technology has elevated the way we learn, the way we live, the way we have fun, the way we play, all of that, all of this has been elevated by technology. Technology provided opportunities and made equality one step up. But at the same time, technology has excluded some people if it is not designed with accessibility in mind. Now, what is accessibility? There are so many definitions for so many people. And if you look at it, sometimes when you go inside a building and you find an area for somebody with a wheelchair, or you are going into an elevator and you find the braille embossing on the buttons, it's not just sometimes the physical area, but it's more also the digital. Sometimes the usage of colors, the usage of alternate text after a photo. It can go so much in ways that you can not think that this is part of accessibility. But in brief, accessibility is creating better experiences for everyone. And it empowers people with disabilities at work, school, daily life. So whether vision, hearing, neurodiversity, learning, mobility, mental health, there are a lot of ways that people with determination, people with special needs, accessibility empowers those people to be more included into the society and to be more empowered. Accessibility is an opportunity and a responsibility. I'm going to reiterate some of the points that were highlighted previously. There are more than 1 billion person having disabilities. More than 1 billion. And 70% of those people, the disability is not very visible. You may pass by them and you don't know that they have dyslexia, for example, that they are deaf, or because not every disability is visible, and not every disability is a permanent disability. You have permanent disabilities, you have temporary disabilities, and you have situational disabilities. And only 1 out of 10 have access to the product that they need. So it is a responsibility for us to actually cater and support that community. And with artificial intelligence, the opportunity is so huge. We cannot imagine even the extent that we can go. And my colleague Mark will be sharing with you slightly what can you do with artificial intelligence, but it is there to help you innovate to serve that big community, that 1 billion. It is also an opportunity because the companies who have policies, have opportunities to be more inclusive, outperforms other companies. They have higher revenues, and I'm talking from a research perspective, they attract more top talent because that culture is a culture that attracts, that includes everybody, and everybody means everybody. That's the inclusion. The diversity and inclusion has proven in so many ways, in so many research, that it is one driver of innovation. So if you want to be an innovative company, diversity and inclusion is a very big key. Now, there are so many things that were originally designed for special needs or for people with disabilities that later on they changed our world. Just a few examples here. The straw, okay, so we use it everywhere we go to a restaurant, but it was originally designed to help people in hospitals who couldn't drink. The captioning right now, what you're seeing on live, the direct captioning, you saw it on TV before, but imagine the possibilities once you can allow more people to go and watch a live conference with captioning on. The voice recognition was designed, or let's say out in the late 70s, to support, to give comments to wheelchair. And now, with all of the things that we're seeing on our phones, etc., voice recognition is changing everything that we're doing. Now, I'm going to leave you with just a few things. One, if you don't design for accessibility, it's like literally you're saying to every fifth person who walks in your door, I really don't want to do business with you. Now, to wrap up with this, COVID-19 has made a lot of challenges for people, especially that 1 in 5 workers with disabilities have lost their jobs. There are 35% of special needs children are not being able to do remote work, learning because of it's not accessible enough for them on multiple levels. And we're seeing a lot demand on accessible technologies. Now, just when we heard 1 billion plus worldwide, in Middle East and Africa, there are between 150 to 200 million with disabilities across the Middle East and Africa. So imagine when you are innovating today, what are you delivering for them? Now, before I hand it to Mark, you need to become an innovator in accessibility, but also keep in mind that it's not necessarily that you are going to make huge innovations. Any improvement that you can make is actually affecting a life, giving more opportunities to people to do more, to become better, to be more inclusive, to be more included in companies and so on. With this, I'd like to hand it to Mark. Mark? You're on mute.
Thank you, Samer. Just a quick check, everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you, Samer, and thank you everyone for hosting me, and welcome all to the AI Hackathon for Accessibility. Now, in the next few minutes, I want to take you through a couple of things, but I want you to leave you with 2 key takeaways rooted in this quote by Isaac Newton. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Now, the first idea here really to notice is his words, seen further. And this should be where your vision is in this hackathon. And I want you to think out of the box. In fact, a Harvard scholar argues that you should think outside of the building. And what Rosabeth Kanter meant by that was we as humans think in clusters of people who are around us. And essentially, I invite you along with her to think outside of your cluster. The second idea here is the shoulders of giants. Now, Microsoft is by all standards and metrics a giant, and this hackathon is about AI. And AI is very hard to build, but we at Microsoft have really democratized that. And that democratization should leave you feeling empowered. Our work simply means that you could now build on top of our algorithms, and that means basically standing on the shoulders of our researchers, and that should enable you to go further than where Microsoft has gone. And to really illustrate this, I want to share the story of Saqib Sheikh, who used our technology to impact his own life and the lives of other visually impaired people. So here it goes.
I'm Saqib Sheikh. I lost my sight when I was 7, and shortly after that I went to a school for the blind, and that's where I was introduced to talking computers, and that really opened up a whole new world of opportunities. I joined Microsoft 10 years ago as a software engineer. I love making things which improve people's lives. And one of the things I've always dreamt of since I was at university was this idea of something that could tell you at any moment what's going on around you.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
I teamed up with like-minded engineers to make an app which lets you know who and what is around you. It's based on top of the Microsoft Intelligence APIs, which makes it so much easier to make this kind of thing. The app runs on smartphones, but also on the Pivot Head smart glasses. When you're talking to a bigger group, sometimes you can talk and there's no response and you think, is everyone listening really well, or are they half asleep? And you never know.
I see two faces, 40-year-old man with a beard looking surprised, 20-year-old woman looking happy.
The app can describe the general age and gender of the people around me and what their emotions are, which is incredible. One of the things that's most useful about the app is the ability to read out text.
Hello, good afternoon. Here's your menu.
Great, thank you. I can use the app on my phone to take a picture of the menu, and it's going to guide me on how to take